Okay, here's a bonus track for matcaps. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I thought, hey, it's for sure gonna happen when you're messing around with it. It's I did it too perfectly, right? It's like at the end it shows, and you get exactly what you would expect. But what happens if I hadn't been all that precise in my making? Let me do that again. And what happens if I got these numbers wrong, for example, instead of 48? It looked pretty random, right? The fact that, okay, so Luis puts 48 there and it works, so big deal. You can just change these numbers, and as you can see, the shader will, go wacky and weird, and wacky and weird might be actually what you want. It takes the matcap. It still takes the color information from the matcap, but what you're doing is you're basically, instead of perfectly finding the right pixel that should go in there, you're scaling it in a bunch of, you're scaling it differently than just right smack in the center, and as a result, you see, for example, this is when you stretch it over. So if I have here a 0.2 and 0.2, then it's gonna get fewer pixels, and therefore you have a gradient that is less pronounced, etc. So of course I did a 48 there because when I prepped this tutorial and I did the shader myself a while ago, I happen to know that 48 gives me just the location in the texture that I need. But you're artists, you do whatever the hell you like. You don't have to like follow the numbers. You can also paint outside of the numbers. Same applies to the ad here. If you go wacky on the ad, funky things can happen. Although multiplication of course has a much stronger effect on the final results than an add. But yeah, you can. An add is basically adding a shift. So what you're doing is, instead of placing the vector in the middle of the texture of the matcap, you're putting it maybe on a side, or 2/3 into the X component, and 1/3 into the Y component, for example. So again, I'll show you how to do something, but of course, once I show you, it's your duty as creators to mess with it and get from it the results that you want. So go out there, make this matcap thing in your own Blender Studio, and knock yourselves out by getting a cool effect out of this that maybe I didn't think about. Well, good luck with that, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.